Hi. Let's see here. I guess I still have some time here. This is part three of my video series called. I think I'm gonna change it now. It's gonna be called "Questioning a Muslim Who Sides with the Serpent," and you'll see why. You'll see why when I read this to you. Okay, I'll begin it here. By the way, when I read my words, I'll be using this side of my face. When I use his, I'll be using this side, plus using a mock Muslim accent. Okay. That was a lie, for they spiritually died in that day, Adam and Eve. Thus the need for blood atonement and sin offerings, talked about in the Torah, which the Quran says is Allah's book given to Musa, sin offerings until Jesus was crucified. It didn't say, "You will not die." Which Bible are you quoting from? But anyway, you haven't responded. Did Adam and Eve die? Yes, they died, for they ate the fruit. And if they did die, how come we alive? You are only alive if you are saved. I know I've said this before. You know something? I've got to get rid of that, because I know I've said it before. I've said it before, so. Okay, well, what the heck, yeah. You're only alive if you're saved by the blood of Christ. Until then, you are spiritually dead due to Adam and Eve eating the fruit. So this blindly claim is insulting. To God Almighty and call him a liar. No, you are calling God a liar, and you are saying Satan, the serpent, told the truth. God is a liar. If Islam is true, that was only a physical death Adam and Eve were to suffer, and not a spiritual death for eating the fruit. Because in the day they didn't because in that literal day they didn't physically die. It's also Islam that makes God a liar. If one day to God isn't 1,000 years for us, it's Islam that makes the Torah a lie. So this blinding claim is insulting to God Almighty and call him a lie. Only if one day to God being 1,000 years to us is only if eating the fruit was only speaking of physical death. Then you are right. God is a liar and the serpent is telling the truth. However, all Christians believe it was also a spiritual death and made it so we have to have sin offerings and blood atonement as described in Allah's book given to Musa, the Torah, culminating in Jesus Christ shedding his blood on the cross. Or yes, God is a liar. Big liar. And then we go back to this other time. Thanks to Quran 4:24 and Sunnah Abu Dawud 2:2150, a Muslim, and okay. And that gets him talking about Deuteronomy again. Yeah. Okay, I think I've already talked about that. Yeah, I don't have to talk about that again. Oh, it's repeating itself. Well, I can get rid of that, and I think I will. Okay.